everybody, today we're going to make a banner for your company's website. It's going to be a super easy banner. We're just going to come up to File because we need something new. You'll notice the keyboard shortcut for new is Command N. We're going to hit that. It brings up this menu for a new document. For a web document, resolution 72 is good. If we're going to make something we want to print, we want to change that number to 300. But let's go back to 72. And let's say that we want to make it a different size. Photoshop currently wants to make a document that is 550 pixels wide by 300 pixels deep. If we want to change that to inches, because we know that it is 6 inches wide by 3 inches deep, you can change those number there. But since this is for the web, we're probably going to give in things in pixels. And let's just pretend that it is 600 by 400. We'll put those numbers in there. We're going to click OK. And here's our new file. So what are the company colors that your company uses? My company uses, say, a blue and a white. But that's not what we're making here. Let's say that your company uses a green and sort of a dark crimson-y red. To change the colors in Photoshop, we want to come over here to the Set Foreground Color box. Give that one a click. This comes up. Now you can move up and down on these little arrows, or you can just click in here to change your hues. So let's go find a green. Here's a nice bright green. Here's a dark green. Just choose by picking. Or you can enter the hexadecimal code if you know that, if your web guys have given that to you, or the RGB or the CMYK values. Just click Alright. So we want this nice green to be the background here. We're going to click on the paint bucket tool, click on side, and it fills that entire field with green. Now if the other color is a nice dark crimson-y red because it's Christmas color, but we don't want to change away from this green that we've got here because we want it to remember if we want to use the green later. Fortunately, Photoshop offers us two colors. The secondary color is here. You just want to make sure you click on here and not in that green box again. It brings this up. We're going to move over, find a nice dark red, hit OK, and now it has saved the red in the secondary color. You can switch these back and forth by clicking on these arrows. It promotes the red to the primary color and demotes the green. Do it again. Or you can use the keyboard shortcut to do this, which is X. Moves them back and forth. The importance of this is that this first foreground color is the one that the majority of your tools here use to determine what's going on. So if I click on the brush tool and click anywhere inside here, it is painting this green over with green, so it's not doing anything. So I need to move over to this red, the button, and now these little circles are going to show up. I don't want these guys. We want to back up to before they existed. Here's the history tab. Going to just click on paint bucket. They all go away. To get the text in here for your company logo, we're going to use the type tool and just give it a click in the center. That looks a little small to me, so we're going to come back up to this top bar where the type tool information is. Scrub across these little T's by clicking and holding until we get to a number that looks pretty good. I like that. What's your company called? Let's say your company is called I Make Stuff. That's what your company does. It makes stuff. Unfortunately, it has moved all the letters off to the side. So we're going to use the Move tool, come back here, bring that back into the middle so that it's nice and straight. Oh, but it's still a little big, I'm thinking. So we're going to double click on the T on the side and scrub across this guy again until it comes down, back to the Move tool, bring it across. Now let's say your boss comes in and he takes a look at it and he's like, I like it, but I want there to be a drop shadow and it to be beveled and embossed. Because that's the kind of things that bosses like. They like drop shadows. Give this guy a drop shadow. We're going to double click on the I Make Stuff layer to the right hand side to bring up the layer style palette. And drop shadow is one of the options listed here. Give that a click. Do you see that drop shadow pop back in there? You can hide the drop shadow by clicking off the check mark, or you can just see what it looks like going back and forth. To change the color of the drop shadow, we're going to use this guy. Most people use drop shadows as black. I think we're going to leave it there. This is just an example. It could be up in the purples. You could make it blue. You can make it anywhere you want. And it changes in real time, so you can preview before you try. So we're going to leave it in black. Opacity is how visible it is. Let's crank that sucker up. This angle is where the pretend light source comes, so that it'll drop the shadow. So if you bring it all the way down to the bottom, it's making pretend like the light is coming from underneath the iMake stuff and the drop shadow is up there. Let's move it over to here, so that kind of makes a nice diagonal. This distance is how far away the drop shadow is. This spread sort of enlarges it, and it makes in relation to the edges of the letters. And this size fuzzies it out, makes it bigger. We're going to pull these back down so that makes a nice sharp drop shadow there. Let's say he also wanted a bevel and emboss. Come down to bevel and emboss. Give that a click. It did that for you. And you've got options over here to control the strength of your bevel and your emboss. This makes the edges a little stronger. This one shows you where it is in relation to the outside of the letters. So when I bring this up, it tightens it closer into the center, and softens the whole thing up just like it says that it does. We're going to leave all those there. We're going to click OK. Now that's what it looks like. It looks terrible, but that's what your boss wanted. He wanted a bevel emboss, and he wanted a drop shadow. So there you have it. Letters, bevel emboss, drop shadow.